Welcome to tonight's virtual meeting. The program will be on portion control and how to recognize portions based on familiar objects. When you start eating, pay attention to the
We just
portion
now start.
sizes.
Just go ahead and watch whatever you want to watch.
So, who pays attention to the portion sizes when you eat?
I do low carb diet, so I don't exchange.
Well, I mean, you don't
But
really have
yes,
to
I try to
eat.
be aware of the portions. Yes.
Yeah, any eating plan that you go on, you have to, you still got to watch
Right.
portion size.
Exactly.
Let me put everybody up here where I can see them. Here we go. All right, so we may be familiar with the food exchange system, or really any eating plan that you go on, but can you identify the serving size of just one serving or one exchange value from for different foods? It's time we put our knowledge to the test. So we may not always have a measuring cup or a scale handy. So I'm going to read two servings, and you tell me which serving is one serving size. And then I've got items here that we can eyeball the how much a serving is. Okay, so popcorn, air popped with no fat added, is one serving 2 or 3 cups?
I would guess 2, but I'm guessing.
Valerie, I think you got it right. It's 3 cups.
That's
So
good.
3 cups is about 3 baseballs, which is one starch exchange. So one starch exchange is like 3 cups of popcorn. My baseball right here is a Snap-on Tools baseball. That's the only one I can find. So, okay, so a slice of bread, is this a 1 ounce slice or a 1.5 ounce slice?
1 ounce.
That's right. It's 1 ounce. It's about the size of a CD case. Okay. All right. So butter, 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon?
1 teaspoon.
Okay. And I lost my stamp. Okay. So that's right. One teaspoon, and it's about the size of a postage stamp. That's not very much butter.
No.
Okay. Raw vegetables, 1/2 cup or 1 cup?
A whole cup.
1 cup. That's right. And that's a baseball size. What about cooked vegetables? It's not on here, but what about cooked vegetables? How much is a serving size? That's right, 1/2 cup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rice cakes, 1 or 2? And this is the normal size rice cakes, not the small ones.
1.
It's actually 2.
Oh my gosh.
Two of those rice cakes, about the size of a CD, is 1 starch exchange. A small apple is 1 fruit exchange. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I said a small or large. It's actually 1 small apple is 1 fruit exchange. And that's the size of a baseball or a tennis ball. Okay, raspberries, 3/4 cups or 1 cup? All right, good, Valerie. It's actually 1 cup, again, about the size of a baseball or tennis ball. Cheese, 1 ounce or 2 ounces? 1 ounce is 1 meat exchange. So that's about, a 1 ounce is about the size of 4 dice. So if you buy the little cubes in the grocery store, that's already cut in cubes, you can actually have 4 of those because they're about the size of 1 dice. So you can actually have 4 of those for 1 meat exchange. Okay. Meat or poultry cooked, 1 ounce or 3 ounce, or
A
one
1 ounce.
exchange. That's right. So how many ounces? So one ounce, and that's about yeah, that's about the size of a matchbook, which is not very big. And that is one meat exchange. So normally you would eat 2 to 3 ounces of meat with your meal. So that would count as 3 meat exchanges if you're counting exchanges. All right, so regular French dressing, 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon?
1 teaspoon.
Okay, it's actually 1 tablespoon. And that counts as 1 fat. That's your portion. And this is the only shot glass I could find, but it's actually a measuring cup. It's actually got the measurements on it. So 1 tablespoon is about half of a shot glass. This actually holds 2 tablespoons, or measures up to 2 tablespoons. Okay, so spoon size shredded wheat, a half a cup or a cup?
Half a cup.
That's right, half a cup, and that's not very many pieces. And that's about the size of half the baseball. So you can have like, what, this much, which is not very much at all. All right, so, and that counts as 1 starch exchange. Okay, so let's say potato, a half a medium or 1 medium. What is 1 portion or 1 serving? Is it a half or 1?
Half.
That's right, half. So it's a medium is about the size of a mouse. Y'all don't judge my mouse. It's about the size of a mouse. So half of that is really not very big, but that's 1 serving, and that's 1 starch. Okay, low fat granola, a quarter a cup or a half a cup?
Here.
So low fat granola, is that a quarter cup or half cup? Is 1
Half
serving?
cup.
It's actually a quarter cup, which is about the size of a golf ball. So that's probably about enough to put in your yogurt. So that would be 1 starch exchange. And then we have regular cream cheese, 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons?
Maybe 1.
Cream cheese is actually 1 tablespoon, that's right. And it's half the golf ball, or you could use half the shot glass, which is just enough to put on a bagel, you know. So but you can see from this exercise how, you know, that the serving sizes are not very big. So you really have to watch your portions when you start looking at them through your eyes. And when you first start off measuring, or when you first start off with the eating plan, you probably need to measure just so you can get a feel of the portions that are correct. All right, so what type of foods are extra challenging when it comes to portion control?
Desserts.
Desserts?
Yes. Potato chips, junk food.
Yep. Okay. All right, so my challenge is ice cream, especially if it's not already, pre-measured. Because it's really easy to overeat your favorite food and count it correctly. All right, so in the real life book, they have a chapter on just portions that you can look at, and so you can see here that a third cup of pasta, which is one starch exchange, a third cup is like the size of a lemon, probably just a small lemon, which is not very big. And I know a lot of people don't eat just that much, like pasta, spaghetti, things like that.
I've never seen pasta look like that before. What is it?
I think it's spaghetti all wound up and dry.
It's kind of like glue or something, don't it?
It does. I have had pasta look like that before, and it's one good experience.
Looks bad, don't it?
Yeah, it does. Okay. One 4-inch pancake is one starch exchange, and that's about the size of a CD.
Wow.
French pancake.
Right here, 2 tablespoons of raisins, and that's about the size of a large marshmallow, which doesn't seem to be very big either. All right, a small apple is about the size of a baseball. And then you got your yogurt, about the size of a light bulb. If you buy the yogurt in bigger containers, you can kind of judge it by that. 2/3 cups of fat-free yogurt. 1 cup of raw vegetables, or 1/2 cup of cooked vegetables. It's the one vegetable exchange. Okay, so 3 ounces of fish is about the size of your checkbook.
Look at that fish.
And that is, I don't know who's cooking this food.
I was gonna say, that would cure me right there.
So remember, if you eat 3 ounces of meat, that's 3 meat exchanges.
Okay.
Okay, and then you got 3 ounces of cooked chicken, which is about the size of a deck of cards. You've got the 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, which is actually 2 meat exchanges, and that's about the size of a golf ball. And the cheese is the 4 dice.
2 tablespoons.
Yeah. So you got your salad dressing. So you could pour it in a shot glass, and then pour it over your salad, or you can actually dip it. A teaspoon of margarine is about the size of 1 die. And then 1/2 cup of ice cream is 1 carb. And I just got these here off of Pinterest, I think. Let me see, counterclockwise. There we go. And it's just some more visualization. That pasta looks a little better, but it's just some more visualization, that you can.
Better don't.
That you can see, and it might. You can Google like portion control or food portions, and go to the images, and just kind of eyeball, how much a particular food is based on something that the size of. And again, I think this one's from Google or Pinterest, I can't remember. But here's another way. Pasta, you just, from a regular ice cream scoop, which is not very much. I have a fly flying in front of my camera. So, just kind of, you just kind of have to visualize it. I pulled some things out of my cabinet earlier. Don't judge what's in my cabinet. Let me find it.
That's a cool pen over there.
Do what?
It's a cool pen right there, that Topps pen on your desktop.
Oh, this one right here? Isn't that cool? Look, Gail actually done this one in like 5 minutes and sent it to me, and that's
Oh, I can.
Yeah. Okay, so I just pulled some things out of my cabinet and just to get, the portion sizes. So orange Jello and is a half a cup. And this is just a small package. And there's not very, if you just sit down and eat Jello out of the bowl that you've made, you're probably going to eat more than a half a cup. So white chicken, this is just a small can of white chicken. And if you're like me, you probably can eat the whole can, which is not very much because it's only 60 calories. But there's actually 2 containers. So if you eat the whole can, you got to count the 120 calories, not just the 60.
Yeah.
That's what makes me mad about packaging, because it's really, you'll get a bag of chips or, well, whatever. Let's just say a bag of chips and you think, oh, I can fit this in. But then you look at, it's 2.5 portions, which is this big,
Right. So just like this soup right here, vegetable soup. Now I had like garden vegetable for lunch, but this is like Progresso soup, and you can eat the whole can in one sitting, but you have to be careful because there's two servings per container.
Yeah.
Which 200 calories is still not bad for lunch, but you just got to count. Make sure you look and count, all the added sugars. Let's see, this package of rice right here, you cook it in the microwave and you see this only 230 calories. But look, it's a half a cup serving is 230 calories. I figured it up. If you prepare this and eat the whole package, it's over 700 calories.
Look how many carbs is in that, too. There's no carbs. That's huge.
Do what?
I said, look how many carbs there is in that in a serving. It's 47.
It's rice. Yeah, it's chicken. It's cheddar broccoli rice. That's why there's so many carbs. But anyway, it's over like 700 calories if you eat, because there's only a half a cup of the mix as a serving. Yeah.
Serving in there, man.
Yep. So I was looking on the Tops website, and they've got so many tools that can help with portion control, especially if you're starting out and you need a little help with it. They've got, and I know that Walmart, or what, I think it's Walmart that has one of these also. But they have the plates where you put your vegetables and fruit and your protein and your starch. They have this little cutting board, which you can measure your meats. So this is 3 ounces. This is 1 ounce. They have the little bowls, measuring cups. And there's also the exchange cards. And, if you eat a 3 ounce piece of meat, you pull out, do they even have meats? You pull out 3 of the meat cards. They also have this and I'm actually use this from time to time. So it's got, so you can see it's got, your food journal in there and your activity and things like that. All right. So we just got to be careful, especially when you're eating away from home. And, if you're at a buffet, or if you're, at any kind of gathering that has food, you're not going to have any kind of, measuring things there. So you've got to learn to take a look and judge it by things that the size of. And anytime you go to a restaurant, their portion sizes are enough for 2 or 3 meals. Rarely do you get an entree that's proper portion size. Even though they give it to you and you feel like you got to eat it all, it's really enough for 2 or 3 portions. So knowing food portion sizes is really important. And if you eat the portion size consistently, then it can lead to the success in your weight reduction. So I had a question, is the 3 ounce before cooking or after cooking? I don't know that it's said. I think it's before cooking. I think the 3 ounces before cooking. All right. All right, so Jackie says, sometimes I like to use food that's already portioned out. And that's a very good idea. All right. Does anybody have anything they would like to share?
There's one thing I wanted to share with, you're talking about going out and eating. I've found success, but that I'm more successful if I look at the menu online before I ever go and choose what I'm going to get before I get there, and also make sure I'm not actually starving for food, because you make bad decisions when you're that hungry. So just a little something to knock that off, whether it's a rice cake or whatever.
Right. Yeah, Jackie, sugar-free Jell-O desserts is very good choice. And a lot of times the sugar-free, you can have a bigger portion.
Gelatin's good for you too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to watch even the supposedly sugar-free, fat-free, whatever, because a lot of times they'll put extra stuff in there to make up for the sweetness.
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
We've learned to like hummus, but we were eating a whole thing of hummus at one time. So Sam's has the little individual size hummus. So we know that, okay, when it's gone, it's gone. And then measure out the number of chips. Like there's a multi-grain chip, you can have, what is it, 13 of them? 13 of them. So if you just go ahead and measure that out, or the baked peas, I think it's like 22 of those little forget what they're little baked peas. So we'll just just get out 22 of them, because it looks like more when you get it measured out. And then I know that like the baked peas, whatever it's called, it's got 2.5 servings in it, so it makes it last longer. Because I could eat the whole thing.
Right. Mindless eating, that's smart too.
Yeah, anytime you buy things in bulk, it's good to go ahead and measure it out right when you get it home before you even put it up. It's a lot easier if you just go ahead and measure it out. And that's that would be with anything, the fruits and vegetables, and even if you have a craving for, a piece, chocolate or something like that, go ahead and portion it out. That way you just grab the one portion. Okay. Anybody else want to share anything? Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and check us out at www.tops.org.